episode of Anthropologist Watches Mr. Snowflake, watching Amberlynn Reid. This is his series ongoing. Amberlynn Reid, Shaped by the Algorithm. This is episode 3. We have made it through episode 1 and 2 already. And in episode 1s and 2s, which I have several of on a playlist, we watched the creation of, well, Amberlynn Reid's channel to begin with, because episode 1 and 2 of Shaped by the Algorithm covers the first video that Amber put up, or that is available of Amber's on YouTube. And it's going until, gosh, are we even in? What year are we in now? 20, not real life, in timeline wise. I think we're in 2017, 16, 17. So we are only 2 years. I think we're technically a year and a half into Amberlynn Reid's channel at this point in episode 3. So I'm sure we'll get caught up. But in episode 1 and 2, we watched the creation of the Amberlynn character. So the genesis, if you will, of Amberlynn's online persona. It's been fun to watch that happen, because there are a lot of things about Amber today, in the modern day, that they're just quintessential Amber. And we know that now because we've watched the original versions of that character from 10 years ago. And Amber has one of those fascinating channels where you can actually trace the character all the way back. Amber, as of, I believe, well, this month, actually, November, or maybe it was late October. Either way, last month or this month, she has officially been on YouTube for 10 years. So, excuse me. We have this, and Amber, unlike characters like Foodie, doesn't delete. She doesn't dirty delete as much. I'm not saying she never does it. She just doesn't do it. She just doesn't do it as often as Chantel, for example. Chantel's been known to delete like entire, God damn it. Chantel has been known to delete like entire years worth of material. I think when she decided that she was Miriam, did she change her name, I believe? What do they call that when you become a Muslim? You revert, because they believe everyone starts off as a Muslim. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know anything about the Muslim faith. But I do know that when Foodie Beauty decided to become a revert, she changed her name to Miriam, which I think is a beautiful name, guys. I love that name. Anyway, but when she did that, she apparently went through and deleted quite a bit off of her channel, especially all of the stuff having to do with her less savory characteristics. We'll leave it at that. I do not watch and or follow Foodie Beauty. She is not my cup of tea. I will leave that to Milk Tea Reacts. She more than covers things for me. And if you don't watch her channel, you really should. It's a really great channel. I kind of mimic her style a little bit, but not too much. But I also like to think that like she and I have the same kind of calling out the BS and being critical without being like downright nasty about it. I don't know. That's how I feel about it anyway. Of course I'm perfect. Amber, back on topic. Amber doesn't seem to do that as much. I know she has deleted videos in the past, and I know that people have saved copies of those because the internet is the internet. But because she tends to not do that, we are able to go back over 10 years to look, well, not over, 10 years, to look at Amber's origin and compare it all the way through. Now, again, we are only on episode 3. Mr. Snowflake did a really good deep dive, and that's why I'm choosing to go over his videos. There is another creator who I watch regularly called Omegyan. I think it's how you say it. I think that's his actual name. Like, isn't that the coolest name to have? I bet that was fun growing up. I just remember him saying that in like one of his off, it was an off comment in one of his videos about how like his name was Omegon. That's like, that was the name he was given at birth. Anyway, he does a yearly wrap up of the various girls. And I don't know how many of them he's done of Amber so far, but I know he's done a few. I should go and check, but I was thinking about doing reactions to his stuff because his only encompass like a year. Like he did one for what was last year, 2022. So there's a Amberlynn Amberlynn 2022 year review. So I was thinking about doing that. I've had a couple of you say that you were interested in it. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something you would be interested in, on top of me continuing to do Mr. Snowflake. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's a different perspective from the same kind of cynical, critical point of view about Amber from also another British person. The Brits love Amber, probably because she's so weird. In that she isn't weird. The more I watched My 600-Pound Life, the more I'm like, oh, it's Amber. Which is another thing I was thinking about doing, is some reactions to 600-Pound Life, just because I find the lifestyles of the 600-Pound Life people to be very similar, very repetitive in traits, and their storylines to be very similar. Now, that could be editing on, what is that, Lifetimes or TLCs? And I'm sure there's quite a bit of editing involved. However, there's only so much editing you can do. All of that said, have I told you that I am an anthropologist by training and a retired archaeologist? Because if I didn't, you now know that. And I also want to say, before we jump into this any further, that I'd like to thank everybody who's been, I would like to thank everybody who has been supporting the channel. We are almost, and almost in my mind is, I just hit 1,800 followers as of this morning. Which I know is a very small number compared to Mr. Snowflake's 83.5k followers, but he also does like a bajillion other different topics, not just Amber. For me, that's a big deal. And I have been saying that when I get to 2,000 that I will do a Q&A. And so if you're interested in that, tell your friends to come over and join. And I'm only 200 followers away. So isn't that kind of cool? I mean, now that I'm in the follower game, now I have all these like little milestones and markers that I kind of want to get to, because now it's gamified, if you understand. It's like, I don't know if I'd be crushed if like tomorrow everybody just quit following me, but like now that I am getting followers, like I appreciate all of you, I truly do. But the number, they gamify this shit, you guys. You should see the crap I get on my end as far as like creator content reviews and wrap ups and It's just all data and numbers, and now they're giving us badges and stuff, and I'm just like, cool. Anyway, it's a game. It's a game. So, all right, let us see if I can catch up on the rest of my thoughts. The first two episodes, we watched the formation of the Amberlynn character. We've solidified pretty much all of the characteristics that we are familiar with in the modern era. Now, Amber, remember this is going all the way back to 10 years ago. So what, it's 2023. So this was back in 2013. I believe timeline-wise in the show, the TV show, we are at year... I want to say we're in 2015, or we're getting ready to be in 2015 as far as the series is concerned. So we'll see when we jump in if I need to correct that. She is still with Crystal. The infamous breakup has not happened. Why are all of her breakups infamous? They're all the same. And they're so like iconic. I don't know how to really put it. What does it mean when something is iconic? I need to look that up. Anyway, we haven't gotten to the Crystal breakup yet, and I don't know why my fire thinks when I say Crystal that I'm saying its activation word. I'm not, but it is damn certain that I am. Anyway, let's jump into this because I'm just kind of rambling, and my goal is to keep this to 2 reactions, to break this up into 2 reactions, so let's knock the first part of this out. I have, for the sake of brevity, sped him up to time and a quarter. I don't necessarily feel like I need to, but I also don't feel like he's unintelligible once sped up. So there you have that. So let's jiggle my camera a little bit more and jump in. Oh, before we go any further, this is not a tequila bottle. This is water from Transylvania. This is vampire water. No, I did not get it while I was in Salem. I got this at the grocery store. It's like spring water from the Carpathian Mountains, according to the label. So if you're apt to believe that kind of crap. But yeah. So this is water from Romania, aka Vampire Land. I'm sorry if you're from Romania. All you are known for here is vampires. I don't make the rules. Anyway, let's jump into this.
I did need a pretty long break. I think it's been about 3 weeks since I saw you guys. Please do not mind my soul.
Okay, so we are in 2015, so that would make it... Technically, she started in, like, November of 2013, so this is about a year and a half into her channel.
Eyes and my swollen face.
Give or take.
I know it's extremely noticeable. The last 2 days have been really hard for me. I have done my fair share of crying. I don't plan on crying for a long time. I'm going through some things right now. I think I'll be okay. I think sometimes you have to hit that rock bottom to move forward and to start over.
Amber was clearly upset, but she wouldn't tell us why. This was very strange for her, as she would normally share everything.
Hello everybody. It is literally like my time of the month.
By this point,
if you can't see, there's a literally counter down in the corner. Sorry.
Her audience were used to her telling them everything that was wrong, but for some reason this time she didn't want to share. Her viewers wondered what was wrong. Could it have been she was upset over her weight loss journey not going well? Perhaps. Could it have been something to do with her family? Perhaps. Could it have been because she had no job, therefore couldn't buy nice things for her?
All of my necklaces, all these bracelets, rings.
Boy, she was really into the chunky, I want to say gaudy, but not in a, I mean, not as a descriptor, not as in like, I think it's gaudy. There was like a whole phase of accessories during like the early 2000s, I guess into the 2010s, where you wore like big, chunky, noticeable necklaces and earrings and rings. Like the whole point was these big, chunky, kind of gaudy, slightly tacky kind of jewelry. Like that was the point. Sorry, I have a cat. I have 3. 2 of them are very long-haired, and their fur is everywhere. So I apologize for all the face touching, but that's what's happening. Anyway, Amber really bought into all that. And I'm not going to say I don't like it. Like, I do really like some of those pieces, especially when I do, like, steampunk. I used to do a lot of steampunk. Look, I'm a role player. It is what it is. And I really liked collecting that stuff because it was, like, the perfect stuff for accenting your costumes and things and your garb. Ah, beautiful stuff. Anyway. I do really like a lot of the junky stuff that she has, but the reality of it is it's very cheaply made, and it's made to be noticed, and she like has a lot of it.
And like studs, all these earrings, so many, like it's almost devastating.
Amber being upset was beginning to seem like the norm.
And I also wonder why she has the obsession. My mom would call it magpieing, where you just start, you see... Whenever we're at the store and we're walking around and we're looking at stuff and we see something shiny, we go, caw, caw, shiny, implying that we are crows and we're going to go collect the shiny thing. But I do wonder why that kind of stuff is a particular ongoing, long-running collection of hers. Like, we've talked about Amber's collections in other videos. I don't know if we've talked about it in this series yet. In that I don't think Amber's a hoarder. I know a lot of people will call her that, but Amber has specific collections that she maintains, and we don't really know of all of them, because I remember when she whipped out that crystal collection, everybody like lost their stuff. She had some really nice pieces in there, and just judging by like my own rock collection, some of those pieces were really expensive, because they're pieces that are similar to other ones that I have myself looked at and been like, ooh, that would be nice to have, but not for that price. So, but we didn't know she was doing that until she told us that she was going to go through the rock collection and eliminate some of the pieces. So that one came out of nowhere. I feel like the sticker collection kind of caught, when it initially got introduced, it kind of caught people off guard too, because I don't feel like we really knew the extent of the sticker collection. But the earrings and the other jewelry pieces, earrings especially, that has always been something that she has collected, and it's a collection she's maintained. Now, yes, she purges it, and this is why I don't think she's a hoarder. She will purge the collections at different times. Like we've watched her many times go through her earrings and just get rid of large chunks of her collection. So I don't think... That's why I don't think she's a hoarder, because that's not a characteristic of hoarding. Also, yes, she has a messy household, but I have no room to talk. And we have watched her living conditions slowly become more and more sterile over the years as she's moved from location to location. But the earrings, why specifically earrings? Like, what attachment is she putting? What value and attachment does she have put on earrings that it's just a constant, reliable collection of hers? And she enjoys getting more. She enjoys them as gifts. She enjoys them buying them herself. Like, it's not a new thing like we see her pick up. Like, she's doing the squish crew thing right now. That's her new thing. She got a couple pieces of it last time she went to the store, so I don't know. Thoughts? Leave a comment down below as to why you think earrings specifically are like her go-to collectible.
She couldn't go more than just a couple of vlogs at a time without something upsetting her. When Amber first began YouTube, she began it as this positive and hopeful character, excited for her journey that lay ahead, and that hopefulness and positivity was what initially drew fans in. But now Amber did not seem anywhere near as positive, and she seemed a lot less hopeful, and a lot less happy. It seemed like you couldn't watch more than a couple of vlogs without seeing Amber complaining about something.
I had a really rough night's sleep. It's not even spring yet, and I'm already worried about summer. I hate summer. My computer is so annoying.
Girl, same on both accounts. I'm not a summer baby. This is my season. I embrace it. We start off with spooky season. It is beautiful. And then it becomes pumpkin and leaf season. And we just kind of coast on that until winter. And winter, I can take or leave. Like, I really like fresh fallen snow. I love to go hiking in freshly fallen snow, or like snow that's only been on the ground for maybe a day or two. That's my favorite. I love winter hiking in fresh snow. After that, I don't want to deal with it. Like, it gets mushy, it gets gross. More specifically, it gets nasty on the roads, and people, it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter. I could complain about the Pennsylvania drivers being like the worst in the country, and I think they are, but it doesn't matter where you live. As soon as snow hits the ground, everybody forgets how cars work, and it's just a free-for-all. It's just like demolition derby on the roads at all times, which is one of the reasons I don't like winter as much as I would otherwise. But anyway, no one really cares about that.
I am literally disgusted with life. It is 94 degrees outside.
Got my water. They don't give you straws here.
The hopeful Amber seemed to have gone, or at least was going. She had stopped doing so many weight-in videos and weight discussion videos, and instead just started vlogging about other things.
I think part of that is, we're going to stop a lot if you're not used to these videos yet. Part of this is Amber has a honeymoon period, and we've watched, that may not have been obvious at the beginning of these videos at first, because this is the first time we've seen a completion of the full cycle. Amber has a honeymoon period with anything new. She gets very excited about it. She gets very devoted to it. She can stick to something for varying lengths of time, depending on A, how excited she is about it, B, what kind of feedback she's getting from it, and C, how difficult it is to do. Which is why, like, things like the YouTube channel, she clearly had a honeymoon period that lasted a little bit longer than everything else. And with her diets, like, the longer she diet, the longer the series goes on. And of course, the more weight she gains, the harder it is for her to stay on a functional diet. And so the less likely she is to stick to it for any length of time. YouTube sticks around, but we're past the honeymoon phase. So much like her relationships that she gets into, where she starts love bombing the crap out of her girlfriends when she first starts getting into a relationship, she's past the love bombing phase of her YouTube channel and her audience here. And we are now into the phase where we see the real Amber, as real as it's going to get Amber. Let me put it that way. Do I think Amber's online persona is her actual 100% true self? No, I don't think anybody online is like that. I mean, I'm very frank about the fact that I am not necessarily exactly like this in the real world, and I don't think anybody is. But I think A, the length of time Amber has been online, and B, the length of time Amber has been online, and B, the number of times we've seen her go through various emotional cycles online. I think it's similar or very close to her actual self. I do also think the longer she's been online, the more guarded she has become, just because she has had some severe backlashes to several different things that she's done. And we will get to all of them as we go through the series. But she has definitely learned lessons from those. So going back to what I was initially saying, I think the reason why we're seeing Complainer Lynn here is because I think this is more her natural self, more her true self, than the shy, happy-go-lucky, quirky girl next door persona that she was putting on at the beginning. That made sense, I hope.
Amber had always told us just how much she loved to vlog, but even her enthusiasm for that seemed to be waning.
Vlog kind of stunk. I know this video was...
Whatever Amber was going through that she wasn't telling us must have been pretty bad, because she hadn't been vlogging anywhere near as often as before. Before, she would vlog literally... Before, she would vlog almost every day. Now, she was missing days. Almost full weeks were going by and no Amber videos. And it was...
The evolution of the eye wing is one of the few, like, sub-tangents I'm enjoying watching. It has nothing to do with anything, but she's always had a good wing, but it has definitely evolved, like, over the years. So I wonder if that's because the bigger she gets, the more I have no nice way to put this. The bigger she gets, the more face fat she has to deal with, and that has changed the shape of not only her face but also her like eye and the amount of flesh around the eye. Like, I can't do a good wing to save my damn soul because I have not monolids. I have the one where the lower eyelid folds up into the upper eyelid, and then I also have like poofy. The point is I can't put a good freaking line on my eye to save my soul, and I've given up. I don't even like the way it looks, to be perfectly honest with you, but the type of line that she's got on her eye now the type of wing she's using right now would not fly on modern day Amber, just because I don't think her eye shape would allow for it, if any of that made sense. Some of you actually know what you're doing with your makeup. Correct me, please do, about the wing. I think it looks nice. I'm not a professional makeup artist, but neither is I almost called her April. Neither is Amber, so there's that.
Wasn't like Amber wasn't vlogging because she had run out of things to say either. Often, she would apologise for her videos being so boring and short, but would still vlog anyway.
Sorry some of my videos are really short, it's just purely because I have nothing to say.
So, Amber not recording couldn't have been because of lack of ideas. No, there must have been something serious going on with her. There was a good chance the thing she was upset about was her weight. After all, her weight loss journey wasn't exactly going as planned.
For a while there, I was actually on track with my weight loss and I was losing weight, I was counting calories, blah blah blah. Somewhere along the lines, I did fall off track. I weighed in today at my heaviest that I've weighed in over 3 years. If you guys don't know my story, my starting weight was 420. That was like my known starting weight, so I was probably heavier at one point. I went all the way down to 331, so I lost 89 pounds. I lost those 89 pounds in about 8 months.
Look, man, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I really am not. I just personally cannot imagine my lightest weight being 331. And I mean that with all respect. I really do. I have a friend who has just recently gotten weight loss surgery, and she is killing it. Oh my God, she looks amazing. And I'm so glad that she did that. But I know last time she and I got together, which was years ago at this point, we really need to get together again. She mentioned then that her weight was like in the mid 300s, and I just physically that would kill me. She's a good foot taller than I am, I think. Most people are. Not a full foot, but you get me. She's taller than I am. So I'm a very short person. So 300 pounds on me would be a lot. But I just, with Amber, looking at her right now and understanding that she's in the 400s here. Maybe it's the low 400s, but she's still in the 400s. How much did I weigh in 2015? She's still twice my weight in this picture than I was, give or take, in 2015. I'm not going to go back and actually look at my charts. Yes, I have charts. Leave me alone. I know how miserable I felt at my highest, which was kissing 200. I can't imagine being heavier than that. I just really can't. I just really honestly can't. My attitude was terrible. My mental health was terrible. My physical health was terrible. My arthritis and my migraines were off the damn charts. I mean, the only thing that wasn't wrong with me was my monthly cycle. It was fine. That was literally the only part of me. There we go, literally. The only part of me that didn't like suck. So
It seemed pretty easy to me at the time. I was happy, motivated, determined, and I was doing really, really good.
that was a
I
hell
fell
of
off
an
track,
edit.
and ever since then, it's been a very, very, very bumpy ride. It's been about 2 years now where I just haven't been able to find myself and actually stay there. I promised myself I would never be in the 400s again. Here I am, 24 years old, and I weigh 403.6.
Amber was obviously upset with her new weight and upset with herself. If ever she needed a wake-up call though, this was it. Weighing over 400 pounds again was something unimaginable to the Amber of even just a few months back.
I know he has her slowed down when he does his little inserts like this. I know he slows the video down. That is, she's staring into my damn soul. That's the picture I want on my refrigerator. There you go. And the snack cabinet. I don't have a snack cabinet, but if I did. Anyway, totally derailed myself just looking at that. That was too much. What was I talking about? Oh. I know he has her slowed down. So when she's doing the long, slow blink that she does where she's like, it's slower than it is at her normal speed. But that is a characteristic expression. I have words that she does when she's trying to convince you of her sincerity, and it's a character. It's a expression that it's a part of body language that she carries forward even to today. I haven't seen her do it in a while. I feel like in these earlier videos, like she's using a lot more of her sincerity gestures that she does. She's very expressive with her neck and her head and her eyes, especially when she's trying to be sincere with you, and the long slow blink and the maintained eye contact, and I am being serious, you guys. She doesn't do that as much today, or at least I haven't seen her do it recently, and that could be just because she's not really trying to convince us of anything. We also haven't gotten a good, strong lecture in a while, because she will do that during a lecture as well, and she's shaming her audience, everything but wagging her finger at us. It's fascinating to see this as a form of body language that she was using a lot during the first few years of her channel, and that she's kind of tapered off using in the more modern years of her channel, except when we're getting a lecture. So that's just something to put a pin in for later.
And there seemed to be a hint of sadness in most of her videos now. Whether it was because of her weight gain or this mysterious problem was unclear at this time, but whatever the reason for her sadness, the longer it continued, the more chance there was that she would just carry on binge eating, gaining more and more weight. Being so down recently wasn't good for Amber's mental state. It also wasn't particularly good for the people who would watch her videos. There was much moaning and an awful lot of complaining going on, and plenty of self-pity. She needed someone who could get her out of this funk, and that someone was Crystal's grandmother.
Yes, get it, girl. Oh my god, she's stripping. Oh yeah.
Get it, Grandma? Dang, Grandma. Okay. I like Crystal's grandma, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever seen much of her, but just those little clips got me. I hope to be the quirky, crazy old woman who will not be murdering her cats. I do hope to be the quirky, crazy old woman who sits in the lawn during the middle of winter with the spray hose just to hose down the children and be like, get off my lawn! I think I've actually turned into that person already, but I want to be boxing when I'm 90. That'd be fabulous. Or whatever age she was. I don't
They can arrest me.
Huh?
Let 'em arrest me.
God, that's my mother right there. No smoking sign. All right, they're gonna come and arrest me. Poof, poof. Okay, Mom.
Wait. That was a taste.
The best I've had yet.
All right. Yeah. Other than the smoking and the drinking, this woman is my new goal in life when I'm old.
We're at Grandma's house. We're gonna spend the night. Well, not spend the night like sleep, but we're gonna spend the rest of the night with her. We're just gonna play games and stuff. I really enjoy her company, don't you?
Crystal's grandmother was a real fan favourite. She appeared to be Amber's polar opposite, never complaining and always being funny, and she seemed to be the excuse Amber needed to cheer up.
There's something about that generation, though. Like, they're either, because this is not my mother's generation. This is the generation, I want to say, just judging by looking at her. Just I don't know how old she is, but just judging by her, and then like piecing together my grandmother's age. She seems younger than my grandmother, but within that same generation, probably. But there's something about that generation, like, if they were complaining, like outwardly, truly complaining, and not just like like passively making your life hell, there was really something wrong. Like, you wouldn't know things were bothering them until they actually said something, and then it was like, oh shit, get in the car, we're going to the hospital right now. I mean, it could even just be something as casual as like, my head hurts, and they're just like, nope, car, hospital now, because for all you know, they're having an aneurysm at that point. It's like, how long have you had the headache, Grandma? Well, just for a couple weeks. That kind of stuff. But I also find that out of this generation, when they get to this age, like, maybe it's just something that happens when you get to this age and you're just like, F it, because my mom's kind of getting to this point, and I know my aunt, well, my aunt's quirky and I love her to death. But, you just get to a certain age and you're just like, what are you going to do? Arrest me? It's kind of that kind of mentality. And so you just kind of start doing all the things that you probably wouldn't have done when you were like my age. I don't know. I know there's a lot of things I do and say that I would not have done in my 20s and my 30s, just because I'm at a point now where I'm just like, what are you going to do? Not talk to me? Do us both a favor, I guess, kind of a situation.
Whenever Amber was around her, she couldn't help but laugh.
She's funny. I
When
like her.
Amber was sad, she would tend not to mention her weight, and instead concentrate on other things like her makeup, her jewellery, and her clothes. She would
That's
go
a pretty
too long
necklace, I'm
without
not
weighing
gonna lie.
herself and end up putting weight on. But after spending some time with Crystal's grandmother, she had started to mention her weight more, started to pay a little more attention, started to want to do.
Okay, first off, that's a terrible wig for her. That's not going to work for her. But this guy, he's in it to win. Boy, I want to go someplace where they treat me that well.
Well again.
Look how
It was no
happy she
coincidence
is.
that the videos Crystal's grandmother appeared in seemed to be the ones where Amber was in the mood to get back on track again. Misery loves company, and so does happiness. Crystal's grandmother's
I'm just looking at the background. It has nothing to do with anything.
positive vibes were clearly rubbing off on Amber. Amber loved Crystal's grandmother.
Okay, I could see that on her. I think the color's wrong. I know you all care deeply about this. I think the color for her is wrong for her skin tone, especially with that purple shirt on. So maybe if she changed the color of her shirt since her hair got lighter, maybe, I don't know, but I feel like that would work differently. Also, I think maybe it would work if it was styled a little bit differently. I know you can style those wigs within certain reasons, but I think maybe the cut itself would look really good if it was just darker. Also, her eyebrows are dark, so I would just, it would look more natural if she had like a darker hair. But I think overall it really does, like the cut itself. I know it's a Karen cut, but I think it looks nice on her.
In fact, Amber loved her so much, she considered her to be her grandmother as well.
Crystal and I are about to go pick up her grandma, my grandma.
In fact, Amber loved all of Crystal's family. Crystal's parents, her sister, their overweight pets.
Say hi to Ringos. What are you doing?
Look at the baby. Oh my god. He's not happy, but it's okay.
I said schmucks.
He's not about this life.
He
See?
really isn't. That's a Tabby thing, though. They're never happy.
Charlie about this life?
Can you be a good boy?
Guys.
Yes. Oh, look at you. So prim and proper.
In the time Amber lived with Crystal, Amber and the family had grown extremely close. bonded over family dinners and family board game nights. But Amber especially loved Grandma. Being funny just came natural to her in a way that it
Ow.
didn't for Amber.
Okay, so not that my grandmother ever did anything like that, but my grandmother would sit at the dinner table sometimes, and if you got too lippy with her, she'd just pop her teeth out while you were talking to her. It's great times.
Amber hadn't really shown us her funny side yet. She had shown us her crying side, her failing to lose weight side, her I lost 89 pounds once side, and her side where she thought it was fun to stick a camera in her girlfriend's face. But she had not shown us her funny side yet, in spite.
She was really lucky that I didn't fly back and smack her in the face because she was way too close. I've thought about taking up boxing. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that.
By Crystal's grandma's silliness, Amber suddenly started trying to be funny.
I don't know if I should be holding it like right here, right here. How do I know if I'm filming? How do I know if I'm pressing the right button? How do I know if I'm even there? Sit you guys down, sit you guys down, sit you guys down.
Starving Marvin right now.
Starving Marvin right now.
Starving Marvin right now.
I have not sped up these clips, I promise. Oh, she did that herself? I don't know if I believe you, Mr. Snowflake.
Starving Marvin right now. Don't film it better.
Okay, is he I don't really care who sped these up, honestly.
What are you doing? 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 It's falling. I'm horrible at OP. Okay.
Done.
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 It's totally Christmas early, like Rudolph on your screen, like right now, like my nose is so Rudolphy and red and reindeer like.
Outfit of the day.
Hey.
I am so glad when she stopped wearing that blue thing. I'm torn. I am torn with the blue thing because I think the color looks good on her. I just hate that piece of clothing. Hate it. Almost as much as that damn dress she keeps wearing today. Burn it with fire. Anyway, has nothing to do with anything. So, I don't have a reason not to believe Mr. Snowflake, except that I've fallen for his pranks once before. But he seems to be saying that he's not the one that edited these clips to be faster and slower and repetitive as they have been. So that shows that back in the early years of this channel, she was trying to edit things for whatever reason. She apparently did think it was funny, or else why would she continue to do it? But I'm so off. There we go. So she definitely was putting some effort into the editing of the videos, understanding that that was something that audiences wanted to see. Whether it was hitting its mark or not is a whole other conversation that is kind of irrelevant. The fact is she was trying, and she kind of really stopped there for a good chunk of the time I've been watching her, which is why when she does it in her current videos, I appreciate it, even when it is kind of cringy. Just because of the fact that she tried. So I guess I must apply the same standard here, I guess. I will give her props for attempting to edit in a way that makes her videos more engaging. Whether it did or not, again, kind of irrelevant to the conversation. It's just the fact that she was actually trying. So, but it also shows that even back in the day, she was aware that her videos needed a little something extra besides just talking heads. So another thing to just kind of file away for the time being.
So this is in case the cats try to start fighting and stuff. You're just like, run, run, run. I got a gallon of water, and I'm gonna drink. Water's so good for you. Water's so good for you. Up.
I know she's absolutely obsessed with making sure that we believe that she drinks water, even though she'll do that. And then a few days later, a few episodes later, she will tell us that like she doesn't drink enough water, and she'll just waffle back and forth from it or not. I have never understood people who drink from gallon jugs of water. I get that you're trying to get your water in. I get that part. I do. You look ridiculous. And also it's so, for me, so cartoonish that I don't believe you're actually drinking all of the water. And this is coming from someone who worked outside all day long. And like there were people that would bring gallon jugs of water with them because we had to carry our water in. And then carry it back out, hopefully inside of us. But the point is like I've worked with people who drank a lot of water, but when I see people, and it always seems to be, in my experience, it always seems to be somebody who's like morbidly obese, who's got these giant ass containers of water, like the half gallon or the gallon jugs that have all the like little marks on it, like drink by noon, 3 o'clock, yada yada yada. It's always them who's drinking out of those things. But which just kind of further makes me not believe that that's like a normal behavior. But you know, whatever you got to do to get your water into you, I guess.
Town funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown.
Okay, there's like another 50 clips of Amber speeding up clips to be funny, but I won't put you guys through that. I just wanted you to know I watched all 50 of those clips. Funny. We salute you and your sacrifice, Mr. Snowflake.
Town funk you up. Town funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up.
Good God, that song's old.
Totally my new favorite song. Literally stuck in my head 24/7. Welcome.
We knew Amber was a binge eater, and we also knew that no matter what emotion she was feeling, she would binge. But we also knew that when she was sad, that's when she seemed to do most of her binging. So it was important for Amber to be happy if she was going to do well on this weight loss journey.
Got spaghetti? And I'm guessing some kind of orangish chicken thing? Like, how do those two things go together? Unless those are lo mein noodles. And they just look like spaghetti. Does it matter? No. Move on.
Yes, Amber was still on her weight loss journey, although at this point in the timeline, you could be forgiven for thinking it was completely over.
A lot of people keep asking me, am I still on my weight loss journey? Am I counting calories? What am I doing?
Amber usually just needed to be in the right frame of mind to get going again. And thanks to Crystal's grandmother, she was getting back to a more stable mental state. It was time for Amber to get back on track, and she did. She started filming more than she had recently, and the healthy eating was back.
Bam Shazam. It's hard to suck though.
That's what she said.
She
I mean... Look, man, I'm 5. What do you want?
also told us that she was going to start working out again, although she told us she was going to start back working out on April the 1st. So perhaps this was an early April Fool's joke. Actually, no, it couldn't have been Amber trying to be funny. If it was, she surely would have sped the clip up of her telling us she was going to work out. So she must have been serious. She even had a new target weight in mind. 199 pounds was the new end goal. And despite Amber previously saying she was done with long-term huge goals, she had made another.
It is also something to make note of that she has that 99. Recently, when she started one of the weight losses earlier, I think it was right after the end of the weight loss surgery arc and in between the breakup, the never-ending breakup, the most recently here, I think she was saying that her goal was to get to like $4.99 or $3.99, and I was just like, such a strange number, that 99. Like, why not just shoot for like 400 or for like 300? You know, why not shoot for a round number as opposed to 1 pound under the round number? And it's a trait that she's had from the beginning. That whole, she's like in her low 400s here. I think the last number we got was like 403 or something like that. And she's saying that her goal weight is 199. Why not just say 200? You know, why focus on that extremely odd number? Like 99 is an odd number. But it's just, normally when you hear people say they want to lose weight, they're shooting for like a round number or something that ends in a 5. Like, like 140. That's my goal weight. Or like 155 or something like that for other people. You know, I don't get you never hear somebody say like I'm shooting for 137 unless it's like a in between weight, you know. You're shooting for 137 on your way to like 120 kind of a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
By now, almost everyone knew this wasn't going to happen, but the die-hard fans were still right behind her, of course. She even had a great idea on how to help her reach her new goal.
I post a picture a day of my body just because I want to go back and see progress, so you guys should definitely follow me on there.
It was a great idea, taking a photo every day, and
She's had several different Instagrams like that. Of course, this is back when Instagram was still like cool. It's not cool anymore. But it is interesting that she's tried to use Instagram in the past as a form of like accountability. So I don't know why that's interesting. It's just like it's a pattern, and this was a totally different Instagram handle than the 5 that she's had since I've been watching.
and she gave us her Instagram so we could check out all her photos. So let's see how many she took.
Yeah, seems about right. Day 6, there's not even a... What? Is that like day 12 and day 6? Or is it day 2 and day 6 and then like one random one that has nothing on it?
As well as Amber telling us her workouts would be happening soon, she also told us something else would be happening soon. Something very important. She said she was going to go to Overeaters Anonymous. Amber had told us recently her binge eating was getting out of control, and she was determined to get it sorted. And the first step in doing that was going to this Overeaters Anonymous. She had found a meeting not too far away being held in a church, and it made sense for it to be held there.
Check.
After all, the best place to learn about getting healthy is a church.
Oh, yeah.
Going to Overeaters Anonymous was a positive sign. It was a sign she was not content anymore with her binge eating and was ready to try and fix the problem. Despite Amber mentioning a couple of times now that she was going to go to this Overeaters Anonymous, it began to sound like she was almost talking herself out of going.
This is the first time, timeline-wise, that Amber has gone to, I believe it's called OA. Yeah. Those would be the initials, yes. However, it's not the last time. And I do remember Amber going to an OA meeting or something similar to OA. Was it at a church then too? Or maybe it was at like a rec center. Anyway, it was during the Becky era, and I think she actually made it to the location, but like couldn't find the exact spot it was in, and then it started to rain or something. Maybe this is the same story. Either way, I feel like she's tried to do the OA thing at least one other time after this, and it also failed. But during that time, she was also trying to talk herself out of going as well. She's good at talking herself out of things.
Just am insanely nervous. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go today. I will definitely keep you guys posted. A few things that are worrying me about the situation are, it's in a church. I'm agnostic.
Well, then you'll just completely combust into flames if you get anywhere near the door, so don't bother going now. God help you if it rains. That's not really rain, that's holy water that they spray off of the roof to keep the unbelievers and the heathens away. I'm joking.
Extremely shy. I know I don't come off as shy. I'm really nervous to be meeting a bunch of other people who are going through the same thing. I truly feel like I'm still going to be the only obese one, and it makes me feel very nervous, awkward, and anxious.
And see, that shit's all in your head, man. I mean, my paternal grandmother went to what she called fat class. That her words, not mine. And this was like one of the first time I was very young. So this was one of the first times I ever encountered the whole concept of diabetes. My grandmother had a very close friend who had type 2. That's the one that that's the one you get from, well, being fat. Type 2 diabetes. And yeah, she lost both of her feet while I was a very young kid. And it was very traumatic in an outside kind of way to me because I didn't at the time I didn't understand that you could even do that. Like I didn't understand why she lost her feet. And my grandmother kept trying to explain it to me, you know, as you explain to a child. But yeah, I just remember that being very like traumatizing to me to the point where like someone later in passing mentioned that they had type 2 diabetes and I like kind of freaked out a little bit about it cuz I was like, "Oh my god, they're going to take your feet." And I know that's me trying to make light of it, but it was kind of like it's kind of shocking to learn as a child that you can get sick enough that they'll take your limbs off. And it's kind of hard to explain that to small children as well, because it doesn't make sense. However, my paternal grandmother was well over obese, and so was her friend who lost her feet, and they were at the average size of the fat class. And I'm almost positive it was Overeaters Anonymous. I do remember there was one lady in the class that was very small, and like she was a petite woman, and she had mentioned that you know she came over one day and she was mentioning that she'd gained weight, and I remember saying to her, why do you care about your weight? You're not fat. And I remember she looked me like, now remember, I'm a child. She looks me dead in the eye. She goes, well, my body knows when it's overweight because my joints start to hurt. And I was just like, oh shit, sorry. So yeah, I just remember that. But I guess it just kind of drives home the point that like, yes, there are skinnier people in OA because this woman was in the OA class. So people are there for various reasons, but the majority of the people who were in OA with my grandmother and her friend were also the same size. They were the average size. And my paternal grandmother, God, she had to have been 400 pounds. She was wheelchair bound and everything, but a lot of that had to do with like her arthritis and thanks grandma and a whole bunch of other things that kind of all added up together. It was a whole thing. But anyway, my point is that Amber would not have probably been the fattest person in the class. She probably would have either have been right at the same weight as the fattest person in the class or, you know, just slightly over, maybe. I don't know.
I do not want to talk in front of all these strangers. I hope they don't make me talk. I don't think I could handle it. I'm nervous that I'm gonna cry. My weight loss journey is very emotional to me, and I know other people's struggles and problems and stories are most definitely gonna pull on my heartstrings, and I know I'm gonna cry. I don't know.
It's my understanding that that's kind of the point. OA is just like AA, except instead of dealing with like alcoholism, you're dealing with food addictions and other food related trauma. So yeah, and it's also my understanding that like those kind of programs, they're not going to make you talk. They're not going to put you in a situation where you're uncomfortable. But you do have to sit there and listen to other people. But that's the point. I think it's supposed to be like it's group therapy. Like you're all sharing your trauma together in a safe situation, not the internet. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, if I'm strong enough for this yet. Or what if I'm even just the only one there? Then what do I do? Twiddle my thumbs? Like...
She didn't sound too eager to go. Many thought it was all talk, and she would never actually go. But Amber proved the doubters wrong when she arrived at the meeting place.
I'm currently in the OA parking lot, and there it is. That's not the front of it. I'm really nervous. We're here like an hour early.
Maybe this is the same thing. Maybe there wasn't a second time. Oh, man.
I told myself I wanted to come this early because I want to see how I felt in my gut to see if I'm really gonna like go in there and stuff. So nervous.
Okay, the part that's killing me about this is there's someone else in the car with her. Probably Crystal. She didn't get here by herself because Amber doesn't drive. What is the other person doing? Like, is it Crystal? Like, why aren't they just like, get the F out of the car and go into the building?
Amber never normally got to prove the doubters or haters wrong, so her going to this meeting would have really stuck it to them. It would have, but there was a slight problem.
Ah, dang it. Okay, so there wasn't a second time. I redact everything that I just said. I don't redact. Maybe I will redact it. Anyway, I take it back. This is the same story that I was thinking of where it rained and then she couldn't find the entrance and yada, 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 and then she left without ever going.
It is raining really hard. My hair and everything. I'm just a complete mess. We can't find the meeting because this church is big and there's like a bunch of buildings and John Paul houses. I have no idea. And they said come here. No one's answering.
John Paul houses. So they're Catholic. All right.
I've been like running in the rain for like a half an hour or plus, right? I'm exhausted.
It is Crystal because she's being way too quiet.
This is not what I was expecting whatsoever, so I'm pretty upset. An hour later, after talking to tons of people who have no idea what I'm talking about, I have like leaves on me. Oh my god. They
You have nature on you. It's the worst.
have no idea. They're like, oh, maybe it's over there. I'll go talk to her. I cannot find a single OA meeting here. My necklace is literally soaking wet. My clothes, if you guys literally had to wear my shoes right now, you'd be disgusted. It wasn't supposed to rain like this. The newscast did not say it was supposed to rain today, so this was unexpected. It was raining extremely hard. It was beautiful at first, and then it just became ugly when I had to walk to like 50 different buildings.
But remember, boys and girls, she's a plugiophile.
I literally feel like crap right now. I was really looking forward to this. I was honestly excited to just get some help. I have no idea what just happened. A higher power clearly isn't on my side today.
Or maybe there is. Maybe they didn't want you there. Dun dun dun. Rainbow.
After everything's all said and done, I spy a piece of a rainbow.
Sadly, Amber couldn't find this Overeaters Anonymous.
Well, I mean, that's the covenant there, you know. There's your sign, April. Why am I determined to call her April? There's your sign, Amber. The rainbow. If you know anything about the Bible, you'll understand that joke. If you're offended by it, I'm not sorry. Anyway.
So, what did she end up doing instead of attending the meeting?
We got 2 of these cookie dough Arctic Zero ice creams and 2 of the chocolate peanut butter.
Amber not being able to find the meeting was devastating for her. She really needed to get help for her binge eating, and sooner rather than later. Her weight was rapidly getting out of control.
Last time I stepped on the scale for me, I was 405, and then I stepped on it again today and it kept saying error. It couldn't even weigh me. It was so upsetting. The scale that we have was like $130 and it was meant for people my size.
Wow. Dude, I just bought a scale and it wasn't that much money. Yeah, this was 10-ish years ago now, I guess. Things were more expensive back then, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of money for a scale that doesn't go up past 500.
And it wouldn't even work. It really just like opened my eyes. It made me feel absolutely horrific.
Okay, so let me just tell you, my makeup looks like a hot mess too, because guess what? I've been like wiping it off and stuff, and it's not all the way gone.
I need to be back on
Okay.
track. I need to stop breathing so hard all the time. I miss being 350 pounds. Like, what? I have so much going on right now. I recently just found out that my mom's living in a tent. She lives in Oklahoma, so they have really, really horrible weather lately. I'm just so worried. All this.
Amber's mom has really gone through it. Wow. She's April. Amber, for those of you not following the home game, Amber has recently moved to Oklahoma, specifically, we think, to be closer to her family, her mother and her grandmother. And her mom seems to have her shit together right now, but we also know that her mom's gone through a lot of recovery. So this being, well, 9 years ago, I guess now, really does kind of put in place the struggle that her mom has gone through. So, and now that her mom is an active character in the Amberverse, I mean, it's interesting to learn more about Mama Lynn from these offhanded comments from these videos.
Her scales reading error was shocking to Amber. It wasn't so shocking to the people who watched her regularly, but it was shocking to her. She realized she had gone too far. Gaining so much weight was causing issues she hadn't even thought of before.
I had a moment today when I put on this red wife beater. It was actually a sad moment. I wore this shirt, I think 2 Christmases ago in public. I wore it with a really cute white necklace. I had this really cozy white sweater cardigan over me. It fit me perfectly. As I put on this red shirt, I noticed how differently it fit me. Instead of it fitting me accurately, now I've gained so much weight that it's shorter on me. Not cute.
She couldn't find the Overeaters meeting. Her scales read error. Her clothes didn't fit. The universe just seemed to be against her.
Crystal and I ordered some Chinese for dinner, and this was my fortune. You are a happy man. Thank you so much, for Chinaman, for telling me that I'm a man.
You guys do know that fortune cookies aren't made in China, right? They're probably made in India at this point. Fortune cookies, fun story, aren't Chinese at all. If you give Chinese people fortune cookies, they look at you like you're insane because they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why would you put that in a cookie? I don't know, man. I should do more of an explanation of fortune cookies sometime. Why are they associated with Chinese food? That one I don't know.
Her scales not even being able to read her weight anymore was the last straw though, and back came a brand new challenge.
First, I'm calling it Amberlynn's Active 30. Hashtag Amberlynn's Active 30. For 30 days, I want to be active for at least 20 minutes. Coming from zero exercise for the last couple of months, I think that's extremely doable. It'll be me going in the right direction. Where I live, we have a lot of like trails and stuff, and Crystal and I are very interested in walking on a trail tomorrow, so I'm so excited. It's gonna be nice starting off like on a trail because I really enjoy walking on those, and I just wanted to let you guys know I'm super excited.
30 days of being active for 20 minutes should have been
She's definitely trying to play up that she's excited, but she's not actually excited about it.
easy. If she had had a job, it would have been even easier. Amber may not have been good in the past at sticking to mini challenges, but one thing she was getting better at was talking on camera. At first, she seemed so shy and scared, but she was clearly growing a little more comfortable with every video that passed. Talking on camera isn't as easy as it looks.
Hi, people. Oh, fuck's sake.
Seeing those
Oh my god. Ah. Okay. Nope. I'm not done yet. Oh shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. It's really not. Onward.
scales read error must have really affected Amber. Not only was she back in the kitchen, but for the first time ever she was in the car, in the driver's seat. Amber was learning to drive and Crystal was her teacher. To be a good driver, you have to stay calm.
I'm actually moving the car. This is the funniest thing. Are you going in circles? I just braked it. I feel like I'm flying. Oh my god, I pressed gas, babe. And then if I take my foot off of gas, it slows down.
I'm not gonna make fun of her.
Oh my god!
And as well as being calm, you have to keep your eyes on the road. Don't let yourself get distracted.
I've been driving for probably an hour. Squirrel! Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel! Where? Right there, look. Where? Oh. Do you see
Is it really that important?
it? Yeah. Aw!
At least
It's
she
also
stopped, I
important to be as
guess.
safe as possible.
Oh yeah, you guys are probably wondering why I'm not wearing a seatbelt.
Because it doesn't fit you.
True. That's because we're in a parking lot, and the seatbelt like thing
How fast are you going in said parking lot, girlfriend?
is like digging into my leg. So I didn't even try to use it.
Slow down. God, you're making me nervous. I could never teach someone how to drive. It wouldn't end well.
Crystal had been teaching Amber how to be more independent and learn to drive. There was a real sense coming through Amber's videos that she was wanting to better herself. Maybe the scales reading error really did ignite something in her. Crystal actually spent hours at a time teaching Amber to drive. One time she spent 6 hours trying to teach Amber.
She's driving an automatic. How hard is it? I mean, it's one thing if, like, Amber physically doesn't fit in the car, which is an argument that goes back and forth on the internet right now, but that's completely different than, like, not comprehending how to drive a car. Like, it's an automatic. You don't have to worry about shifting gears or anything. God. There's a reason I don't drive manuals, and it has a lot to do with, like, how I was taught. Don't traumatize your children by teaching them how to drive a manual. Just trust me on that one, because we will never drive them out of spite. But she's driving an automatic. And it's a Volkswagen. I mean, it's a good car. You're fine. If you hit something, you're more likely to take it out than the car. Like said squirrel.
We may not have known as much about Crystal as we wanted,
To be fair, though, just judging by how often Amber is looking over at Crystal, who is filming her, I don't want Amber driving because she's clearly far too concerned about herself and the filming of it than she is about actually paying attention to what she's doing. And I think if this isn't testament enough as to why Amber should not be driving, I'm not really sure what more you need. Okay. I don't like people who drive like this.
But we knew she was sweet. And of course, we knew Crystal didn't like being on camera. Although that didn't stop Amber from putting her camera literally. God damn it. Didn't stop Amber from physically putting her camera in Crystal's face. But we did know Crystal liked her computer games and just enjoyed being low-key and quiet. She was also always there to support Amber.
I literally just wanted everything. I really wanted to binge. Really bad. Crystal knew this. She helped me. I am so grateful for her. When I told her, I feel like I just want to stuff my feelings, and her exact words were, "You would feel so much better if you didn't." I know it's just like a common, typical sentence, but I really felt it, and it hit home, and she was right. I'm glad I didn't binge. I'm very happy with myself. Crystal was going downstairs, so I said, "Hey, will you get me an extra snack?" If she would have done that, I would have been over my calories. She looked at me and said, "Do you really want to do this?" Because she knows my goal is to count my calories and not go over. By her doing that, she helped me completely, and guess what?
I didn't go over my calories. I didn't go over my calories. I did it. I am actually really proud.
I know it's only been one day. One day for me is like 100 for you.
That has become very evident the longer I watch Amber. Her perception of time is very skewed towards brevity. For Amber, eternity is a month ago. And I know I'm being slightly hyperbolic, but for real, Amber views a year of life as being 100. You know, if she stopped doing something at the beginning of the year, then she's been doing it forever. She hasn't done it forever. You know, and I think that's part of the reason why when she gets on diets and she like goes 24 hours on a diet and then she starts lecturing us about how best to diet. I think that's part of the reason why is because for her, a 24-hour span is a month for us. I mean, I still wouldn't be trying to give like diet advice after a month on a diet, but that's me. Clearly that's not Amber's problem. But for Amber, like, time is quick. And it seems to be a trait she's had for a very long time. It's not something that has developed like this would be a long time. 9 years of perceiving time as being very truncated. That's a long time.
Willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
True story.
When I was down 89 pounds, I had amazing willpower.
Amber was learning to drive, trying to be more independent. She was counting calories. She was spending more and more.
She had a Passat. What is she driving? I wanted a Passat in the worst possible way, but we settled in a good way, not in a bad way. Yeah, I'd still have a Passat, especially if I could get one that was a hybrid, which I don't think you can buy in the States. But anyway,
Time around Crystal's grandmother. She was being supported by Crystal. All of this is exactly what she needed. She needed to be in a good mental state to keep on track this time and keep the binge eating at bay. So then it's a real shame that this happened.
I'm gonna come at you guys as a surprise because it came at me as a surprise. Definitely, I was going through something the last quite a few vlogs, to be honest. I'm doing a lot of crying off the camera, and just a lot of people guessed what I was going through. I'm not sure how. Lucky guessed. About a month ago, I was having some troubles in my relationship. Crystal and I were having like a little issue. We were trying to work it out for about 2 weeks. We didn't tell anybody. We just kept everything private completely. And on April 1st, we decided to break up. I made a video on April 3rd, 2 days after the breakup. I literally cried the whole video. It was 14 minutes long.
I'm hungry and I want cereal. Very weird craving for me.
I cried the whole video. I was literally a mess because
To be fair, we're only like 26 minutes in, and she's only said literally like 9 times. And 2 of those times has been him, so 7 times.
I never felt so heartbroken in my life. Because I love Crystal more than I have ever loved anybody in my whole life.
Well, don't worry, because soon you're going to meet Destiny, and then you're going to meet Becky, and then you're going to meet Wifey, and then you're going to meet some random person that we never met because they didn't stick around long enough, but you were immensely in love with them as well.
More than I've ever loved anybody in my whole life.
More than I have ever loved anybody in my whole life.
More than I've ever loved anybody in my whole life.
Now he's trolling.
Today is April 13th. It has been 10 days since that video was made. I deleted the video because I told you guys why we broke up. I opened up about the whole situation, but it just didn't feel right to upload to YouTube. I had a gut feeling that it wasn't right, so I deleted it.
I mean, props. I wish you had stuck with that form of decision because Amber loves to upload really, really emotional videos to the internet, and I hate it. I just don't understand people who do that kind of crap. Like, why do you want that on the internet?
I would never keep someone in a relationship if they didn't feel it was right. That's not the type of person I am.
I know a lot of people go back to that clip there because she says, you know, I would never keep anybody in a relationship. I'm not that kind of a person. But we know from past confessions of Amber's, which includes Crystal, Destiny, and Becky, that she basically harassed them into continuing to sleep in the same bed as her, which, man, that's just gotta be uncomfortable. I'm sorry. But as far as being someone who wouldn't keep someone in a relationship, it's not, I guess you're not really, they were technically, all 3 of them broke up, but she somehow managed to convince them that they needed to sleep with her until they physically left her altogether. Or in Becky's case, she was replaced by Wifey. So there's that. And even then, it is, I know when she broke up with Wifey, she was saying, you know, we're not sleeping together in the same bed this time. But I know that there was more than one occasion where she effectively said that they were still sleeping in the same bed together. So there's that. Yeah. All right. We're about halfway through the video here. I want to split this up because my videos get kind of long if I don't. So I'm going to wrap this part up here. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave a car. Yeah, beep, beep car, because Amber was learning to drive. Leave a car down in the comments section. Oh, wait, no. I forget. I take it back. It's a Mr. Snowflake video. You guys know what emoji you're supposed to leave down in the comment section. It's either a snowman or a snowflake. I did say, or a snow woman. How would you know the difference? And someone goes, oh, you look for the snowballs. Good job. Yeah, so go ahead down in the emoji section, leave the traditional snowflake and or snowman down there. Let me know what you guys think up to this point. I know I've pointed out a couple things and I've also ranted about a few things, but let me know what you guys think about the development of the Amberlynn character up to this point. Keep in mind that we're talking about developing Amber, not modern Amber. But if you see parallels or correlations between developing Amber and modern Amber, those are perfectly valid to discuss as well. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for this time. Again, thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You all rock. And thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. And yeah, I will see everybody in part 2 of episode 3. Bye.
Never gonna let you get away.